Hello, sports fans. It is Thursday, September the 26th, the year 2013, and as usual, a lot to get to in the sports world, so let's get it going right now. Before we get into our weekly NFL picks, let's recap the baseball from last night. Not a lot changed in baseball from last night. As far as the American League goes, Tampa Bay, Cleveland, and Texas all won, so Tampa Bay still has that first wild card spot. Cleveland is in the second wild card spot, and Texas is a game back. Of course, Boston, Oakland, and Detroit leading their division. In the National League, St. Louis won, Pittsburgh lost, and Cincinnati lost. So your division leaders are Atlanta, St. Louis, and the Dodgers. Atlanta and St. Louis battling for best record in all of the National League. And Pittsburgh and Cincinnati are going to make the wild card. It's just a matter of what position they're going to be in, who's going to host that game. So not much changed last night as far as the baseball goes. The Braves and the Brewers did have a little bit of a dust-up last night. That's the second one of these the Braves have had this year. Gomez hits a home run for the Brewers, flips his bat. The Braves didn't like that at all. McCann doesn't let Gomez touch home plate. Little dust up there. Didn't get too serious, but the Braves have been in a couple of those. So that was kind of your baseball from last night. All right, without further ado, let's get to week 4 of the NFL. I'll tell you, the first couple of weeks in the NFL, I was on fire picking against the spreads. The first week, I was 10-6. Second week, I was 11-5 against the spread. That's great. So I was like 10 games over 500. And what happened last week? It came all crashing down as I was 5-11, 6 games under 500. I mean, I had a couple of terrible losses. Green Bay was winning up until the end. Then they fumble and Cincinnati runs it back. I lost that game. I had Atlanta. They were leading most of the game. Miami clips them at the end. So I had a couple of tough losses. So I'm still 4 games over against the spread, which is pretty good. But I was doing so well the first couple of weeks, and it all came crashing down last week. But hey, what can you do? Hopefully, I will pick better this week. Let's start with tonight's game. It's a big game tonight. San Francisco -3 over St. Louis in St. Louis. San Francisco, a very disappointing 1-2. They've gotten shellacked the last 2 weeks. St. Louis is also 1-2. I'll tell you, San Francisco has to show me something tonight, and it won't be easy. They have a lot of guys out. I mean, Crabtree is out. We'll see if Vernon Davis plays today. We know their defensive guy is now out. He's in rehab. So San Francisco, a lot of guys out. Kaepernick didn't play well last week. I believe in San Francisco. I believe in the coach Harbaugh. I think they're going to find a way to win tonight. I'm sure it won't be easy. They really need a W tonight. They can't afford to go 1-3. Not with Seattle in their division. This is a very important game early in the season for San Francisco. And I don't think this game is going to be easy. I think St. Louis has improved. I don't think St. Louis is a horrible team. But I do think San Francisco gets through tonight. I think Kaepernick plays better. I think they rely on their defense tonight. Defense steps up big. Maybe they win by about 4 points. But I think they're going to find a way to win. I am taking San Francisco reluctantly tonight. So San Francisco -3 against St. Louis. Niners, you better show me something tonight. All right, let's go to the Sunday games. Let's go to the London game, which I don't understand why they play a game in London. And I was reading an article today that they want a team in London. I mean, are you kidding me? Do we need a team in London? I mean, how's that going to be for travel? How's a team in London going to play like out in Seattle one week? I mean, come on. They don't even have a team in LA yet, and they're worried about London. I mean, I've been over this, a billion times. I don't think the NFL should be worried about putting a team in London. I don't even like a regular season game there. So I don't understand the whole fascination with it. But anyway, let's put that aside. Here's the game in London. It's a bad one. Pittsburgh Steelers -2 against the Minnesota Vikings. Both teams are 0-3. Both teams are going nowhere. Both teams have all sorts of problems. I'm going to take Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh did double up Chicago in total yardage last week, but Pittsburgh turned the ball over a million times. That's why they lost. I think the Steelers, this is a team they can handle. I'm not a believer in Ponder. I don't like Ponder, the Minnesota quarterback. Minnesota's defense has been bad this year. I think this is a team the Steelers can handle. I'm going to take Pittsburgh -2 over Minnesota in London. Let's go to Buffalo, where the Baltimore Ravens are -3.5 over the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. Baltimore is 2-1. They had a nice win last week against Houston, and Buffalo is 1-2. They had an atrocious loss against the Jets. I mean, that was an ugly, ugly game. I'm going to take Baltimore. I mean, to me, Baltimore is a better team. I mean, they have Flacco. I mean, right there, they should be better. Buffalo has a long way to go. We don't know about the quarterback yet. We got to give him some time. Buffalo doesn't have a lot of talent. I think Baltimore should win this game. I mean, I see Baltimore winning this game comfortably. I'm taking Baltimore -3.5 against Buffalo, up in Buffalo. Let's go to Cleveland, where the Cincinnati Bengals are -5 over the Cleveland Browns. Cincinnati 2-1 had the great win against Green Bay last week. Cleveland 1-2. Cleveland actually had a nice W against Minnesota last week. They will go with Hoyer again at quarterback. This is a nice rivalry game. I think Cincinnati's better. I just think Cincinnati is better. I like Cincinnati. I think they're going to win this division. I mean, I like them on defense. I like, A.J. Green. I like the quarterback. Cleveland did show some nice things last week, but I think Cincinnati is better right now. So I'm going to take the Bengals -5 over the Browns in Cleveland. Let's go down to Jacksonville, where the Indianapolis Colts are -8.5 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Indianapolis is 2-1. Jacksonville is 0-3 and the worst team in football. Gabbert may play this week. Gabbert looks like a total bust. He looks lost. He gets hit all the time. Who knows about Jones-Drew? He's always banged up. Jacksonville's best receiver is still suspended. Colts had a tremendous win out in San Francisco. If the Colts can beat San Francisco out there, they can certainly go down to Jacksonville and win. I'm going to take the Colts -8.5 over the Jaguars down in Jacksonville. Let's go to Houston. Very interesting game here. The Seattle Seahawks are -3.5 over the Houston Texans down in Houston. Seattle 3-0 off to a hot start. Houston 2-1, but a disappointing 2-1. Haven't played great in all three games. Got bombed by Baltimore. Were lucky to beat Tennessee and had to come back to beat San Diego. This is a statement week for Houston. Houston at home, you're a 3.5-point underdog. Seattle doesn't play as well on the road as they do at home. Make a statement, Houston. Are you one of the better teams in football? If you are, make a statement. I think Houston's going to respond this week. Being the underdog at home, I think you're going to see the best of Houston. I'm going to take Houston in an upset, +3.5 against Seattle. Let's go to Tampa Bay. Here's a beauty of a game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home, -2.5 of the Arizona Cardinals. Tampa Bay 0-3, Arizona 1-2. Freeman benched for Tampa. They're going with Glennon. I mean, Arizona now has to travel again to the East Coast. They just did that last week when they got bombed by New Orleans. What's the score of this game going to be? 6-6? I mean, what is the score of this game going to be? We don't know about Glennon at quarterback. We don't know what's going on with Tampa Bay. They can't do anything positively. I'm going to take Arizona, and I'm sure I'm going to pay for this taking Arizona on the road, but Tampa Bay's a mess. They're changing quarterback. The coach is under fire. The fans are going to be booing. They haven't been able to score at all. They scored 3 points last week. I'm going to take Arizona. I'm sure I'm going to pay for it taking Arizona on the road, but I think Arizona right now with Carson Palmer at quarterback is better than Tampa Bay. I'll take Arizona +2.5 at Tampa Bay. Let's go up to Detroit. This is a very big game, by the way. The Detroit Lions at home, -3 over the Chicago Bears. This is for first place. The Bears are 3-0, coming off the big win against Pittsburgh on Sunday night. Lions 2-1, had a nice win at Washington. I like the Lions in this game. I'll tell you, I've been waiting for the Lions to show me something. They did show me something last week, beating Washington on the road. That's a game they usually lose. Detroit can move the ball. They have a lot of talent on offense. They move the ball up and down the field. I love Detroit's offense. I like Stafford at quarterback. I like the receiver. Detroit is a handful, on offense. They can do a lot of things on offense. They have some people on defense as well. I like to see them get a little better on defense. The Bears are a good team. They're not a great team. They can be a little spotty. I'm going to take the Lions here. I think it's going to be a huge game in Detroit. I think the fans are going to be fired up. Bears haven't lost yet. I think they're due for a loss. I think the Lions beat the Bears. Close game. I'm going to go Lions by 4 points. I'm going to take Detroit -3 over Chicago and Detroit. Very, very good game. One of the marquee games of the weekend. Definitely check it out. Let's go to Kansas City, where the Kansas City Chiefs are -4 over the Giants. The Chiefs are one of the surprise teams of the league, 3-0 with Andy Reid and Smith at quarterback. Giants 0-3, a complete disaster. Got bombed by Carolina last week, 38-0. How could you not take Kansas City here? What would make you take the Giants? They just lost 38-0 to Carolina. They can't beat anyone. They can't score. They can't defend. The Chiefs, everything's going their way. They're much improved on both sides of the ball. Plus, they're playing at Arrowhead in front of those crazy fans. Giants are going to have to show me before I pick them. I'm taking the Chiefs -4 over the Giants in Kansas City. Let's go to Tennessee, where the Tennessee Titans are -4 over the New York Jets. Both of these teams are surprising this year. 2-1 both teams. Titans had that great comeback last week against San Diego, what they score at the end. And the Jets, we thought the Jets would go 0-16 this year. They've already had 2 wins. They're playing hard. Now listen, they have a lot of work to do, the Jets. We don't know about Geno Smith yet. They don't have a lot on offense. The Jets are playing hard. They're playing good defense. I think Tennessee, though, being at home here, I think that's going to be enough to beat the Jets. Geno Smith maybe throws a couple interceptions on the road. I like Tennessee -4 over the Jets in Nashville. Let's go out to San Diego, where the Dallas Cowboys are -2 over the San Diego Chargers. Dallas is 2-1, and I think the class of that division. San Diego 1-2. San Diego's playing hard this year, but again, the same results, 1-2. San Diego's going to have to prove to me that they can win these games instead of finding ways to lose before I take them. I'm going to take Dallas. I like Dallas. Romo's playing well. Des Bryant's playing well. I like Dallas. I think they're better than San Diego. San Diego finds a lot of ways to lose. There's going to be a ton of Dallas fans out there in San Diego. San Diego's going to have to show me they can do it before I take them. I'm going to take Dallas -2 over San Diego out in San Diego. Let's go out to Oakland, where the Washington Redskins are -3 over the Oakland Raiders. Here's a bizarre game. The Redskins are 0-3. Griffin's still not 100%. Washington's defense awful. Raiders are 1-2. Pryor might have a concussion. Maybe they go with Flynn. We know the Raiders aren't all that good. I mean, this is a mess of a game. I don't know what to make it. I'm going to take Washington. I still believe in RG3. I think he's going to eventually come around this year. I mean, I don't know if Washington can make a run. Their defense is bad. I'm going to take Washington reluctantly. This is a very bad game. I'm going to say Washington with RG3 pulls it out by like maybe 4 to 7 points. Very, very ugly game. I'll take the Redskins. I'm a believer in RG3. I'll take the Redskins -3 over Oakland out in Oakland. Let's go out to Denver, where the Denver Broncos are -11 over the Philadelphia Eagles. The Broncos are 3-0 and riding, just riding high. I mean, Peyton Manning playing very well. Broncos look like one of the best teams in all of football. The Eagles 1-2. The bloom is off the rose already. Had the nice win at Washington in Week 1. Followed it up with a bad loss at home to San Diego, and then an even worse loss in Week 3 when they just got pushed around by Kansas City. Bloom is off the rose with the Eagle offense. Vic getting hurt again. The Eagle defense is atrocious. Denver's going to score 40 points in this game. I mean, Philly can't stop Denver, let's be honest. I mean, even if Philadelphia puts up like 28 points, they're still going to lose like 45-28. I like Denver here. How could you possibly like Philadelphia after what you've seen the last couple of weeks? I like Denver to roll in Denver, keep their perfect record. I like Denver -11 over Philadelphia. Let's go to the Sunday night game. Very nice game. Atlanta at home, -2 over the New England Patriots. Atlanta 1-2. Very disappointing so far. A couple tough losses to New Orleans, and of course last week to Miami. New England keeps getting it done. They're 3-0, even despite all the guys out, all the guys missing. They find a way to win. I love Atlanta in this game. I know Steven Jackson's not playing. We'll see about Gronkowski for New England. I don't think Amendola plays for New England. I love Atlanta. They're home Sunday night. They have to be desperate. They're 1-2. New England's still got a lot of guys out. I love Atlanta here. I think Atlanta's going to respond. I think they're going to have a very, very big effort. I think Atlanta cruises over New England on Sunday Night Football. I know all the New England fans are going to be upset with me, but hey, I love New England just as much as everyone. No one does a better job than Belichick and Brady. I think they're walking into a hornet's nest here. I think Atlanta's going to be desperate. I think you're going to see the best of Atlanta. I like the Falcons -2 over the Patriots on Sunday Night Football. And Monday Night Football, really nice game. New Orleans at home, -6 over Miami. Both teams 3-0. I love the games in the Superdome. Fans are some of the best in all of football. They get decked out in all their outfits. Now, I don't love dome stadiums or, AstroTurf. But I love the way the fans, dress up for the games. The fans are tremendous in New Orleans. This spread's a little high. They're not showing much respect for Miami. It's 6.5. Tough to go against New Orleans in the Superdome. I'm on the fence with this game. I think the Saints are going to win. I think the spread's a little high, but I'll take the Saints by 7. I mean, I could definitely see Miami covering. We'll be asking a lot to see Miami winning this game. I mean, Miami's going to respond and win another road game. Tough to see that. I could see them covering.
I'm going to go New Orleans, though, by 7 points to just barely cover the spread. I like the Saints and Drew Brees at home, -6 over the Miami Dolphins. And, of course, Green Bay and Carolina are off this week. We start the bye weeks. So that is your picks for Week 4 in the NFL. Like I said, Week 1 I was 10-6. Week 2, 11-5 against the spreads. And then Week 3, 5-11. I gave a lot of it back. So hopefully I can pick it up this week. It's a very strange week this week. I'll tell you why. A lot of the bad teams are home and getting points. And the first 3 weeks in the NFL, a lot of the underdogs have covered and a lot of the home teams have covered. So this week you got teams like St. Louis, Buffalo, Cleveland, Jacksonville, all bad teams, all playing at home getting points. It's a very strange week. Even Oakland this week, they're home getting points. San Diego home this week getting points. Very bizarre week. A lot of home teams getting points. That's dangerous, and I took a lot of favorites this week. I could be walking into something bad this week. But hey, I like who I like. What can I say? So that is your picks for Week 4 in the NFL. As far as tonight, we have the big San Francisco-St. Louis game, so that's definitely worth watching. You do have a couple college football games. Virginia Tech at Georgia Tech. I mean, Virginia Tech isn't what they used to be. They're a little down right now. Frank Beamer needs to turn that around. We're used to Virginia Tech being a better team than they are. Georgia Tech doing some nice things this year, so you might want to keep an eye on that game. You also have Iowa State and Tulsa. These two teams have had good programs in the past, not so good this year, so you want to take a look at that game, I guess you can. And of course you have your baseball tonight. Tampa Bay and the Yankees, Angels and Texas, Cleveland at Minnesota, just to name a few games. Remember, we are coming down the home stretch in baseball. Sunday, the season is over, so you only have a few more games to go here. Next week, we start the playoffs, so all these games are so very important. I also saw that hockey starts next week. Are you kidding me? We're already into the hockey season? Didn't the Blackhawks just win the cup? Like, what was that, a month ago? We're already in next year's hockey season? Hard to believe. And then after that, we're going to be into basketball and the winter time and all that kind of stuff. All right, so there you go. You guys are all caught up. You guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the support. Tomorrow, we're going to recap the Thursday game. Maybe we'll touch on the college football game, Tech, Georgia Tech. I'll also preview the weekend for you. A couple other things I wanted to mention that I didn't get into today, but we will do all that tomorrow. So you guys, stay safe. Enjoy the games. Thanks for the support. Enjoy San Francisco, St. Louis tonight. Should be an interesting game. I will talk to you guys tomorrow, Friday. Take care.